Hey everyone, I'm Klloo, and welcome to the data pack Runechant, A World to Discover, a massive survival data pack filled with magic and mysteries. Experience new seasons as you traverse different biomes, craft and cast powerful spells, enhance your weapons with new forms of brewing, or gain different abilities through trimming equipment, which has also been extended to weapons and tools. With 8 new advancement tabs to pursue, come experience a whole new world. The data pack is finally at a state release, so no better time to start playing and preparing for more endgame content to come. You can find the pack on Planet Minecraft or Moderate, or of course in the links down below. Okay, so today's agenda is going to be ranged weapons, right? We'll skip over melee, we'll do that last. So we have 4 enchanting books, and these all also affect the projectile. So using power will result in normal arrows but a burst of luck. Multi-shot will result in extra arrows, Infinity will result in homing arrows, and then Vanishing will result in us teleporting to the arrows. So there's some pretty fun, flavorful effects. Again, it's the same system as before. You take one of the enchanting books, you take one of the hearts, and you take your weapon, and it's basically a different way to trim it, right, with the actual affinity and giving it a special bonus. So we'll start with power, right, just a blanket effect, and we'll just go across. So this is Frost. So we can go 1, 2, 3. There we go, we get ourselves a frost bow basically. As we pull it back, the frost increases and we shoot our arrow. And I have max luck, so that is not going to work. We can clear. Oh, I still got it apparently. In fact, I have it constantly. Huh. Is that because there's not a range on the arrow? We do that. Okay, if I clear it, I get rid of the bow. Interesting. So you just constantly have luck if you have it. Is that how it's meant to be? I don't think that's how it's meant to be. I think it's meant to be only when you shoot an arrow. There will be lots of stuff to look into, which, you know what, we'll take a little anecdotal side, right? So I want to rework the pack again. Thinking about it, right? It's the easiest thing to do, especially with 1.20.5 coming up and everything, the likes, all the changes to components. That's going to cause a massive rewrite anyway. So I want to basically just pull segments of the pack into a new version, rewrite them, fix them up, go over, because it's not just bug fixes, it's also balancing tweaks. There's a lot of stuff to comb through as we are seeing through testing. So I think that's what I'm gonna start, which means that, you know, be slow for the next week or so in terms of A, showcasing content, or B, just working on the pack in general. Now, the big thing is I don't think I will maintain it on 1.20.4. So I know there's obviously all the bugs we've shown, there's some bugs that have been pointed out and all the bouncing. Again, this is a beta test. The pack is meant for 1.21, right? Not even 1.20.5. So I think I'm gonna start porting it over, right? And then if you wanna continue playing with it, testing it, you'll have to use the snapshots. Hopefully that's agreeable, but it, again, will mean that I can hopefully have the pack ready when all the updates come out. Now, the other big thing is, although I'm sure people will end up, you know, creating tools and things to help with converting older packs to new packs, right, rewriting the NBT system to the new component system, that is something that will generally happen later than sooner. So it's probably best that I start, you know, writing out this giant list of what exactly I need to type in to replace, because it will be a bit complex, because obviously NBT is all stuck together, right? It's NBT equals then brackets and all the components. So the best way to do it is write out, you know, what law should be, what this should be, what that should be, and then delete NBT. But the issue is you're modifying stuff internal brackets, and then you have to delete the external brackets. Yeah, so even transitioning is going to be a tool in itself. If I am pulling stuff aside singularly, right? So if I, for instance, take the weapon affinity system and rework it, fix up the little issues we have, and then rewrite it so it's on 1.20.5. That is also probably a bit easier. I'd love to just be able to mass, you know, replace text in a development engine, what are they called? Development environment, there we go, or Word, either way works. But yeah, so I think that will be the go, as I will have to start porting stuff over, right? So I do know there are some broken things. We went from a stable release to obviously huge overhauls, the seasonal system, everything like that, and that has broken stuff, which is sort of to be expected. Plus there's always going to be bugs and stuff that I haven't noticed or found, because there are, again, for every thing I test, I add 3 features or something like that. So hopefully that's acceptable, right? Hopefully anyone who is enjoying the pack currently will, you know, enjoy it on the snapshot. Anyway, back to bows. So why don't we just trim them all while we're at it? So we'll go Ocean for the Tridents. Now, unfortunately, retexturing Tridents is not an easy feat. I'd have to recreate the model from scratch, and it's a bit more complex than a shield because you have the pullback animation and everything. So I don't know if I want to end up doing that. You can still use this system with it. So we've done power. I want to see if multi-shot actually works with the Trident, because I think I had it just replicate whatever the item is. So we'll see. Right, so we have a multi-shot of arrows. I should change that to projectile as well. And deep dark fanny. Does this work? It doesn't. It spawns in arrows, which is interesting enough. Pretty sure I replicated the... Well, from looking at it, it's obviously not tridents, but yeah. I mean, that's still kind of cool, right? You add a burst of arrows to your trident. Again, the trident, I like still having it in the system, even though it's not retextured or anything like that, because A, it works with all the ranged effects, and then it also works with all the melee effects, and it works with the normal effects, and the trident is, or was, I should say, now that we have the mace, one of the big pinnacle weapons of the game, right? So I do like this. I do want to change it though, so it spawns tridents, not arrows, but then tridents will do more damage, I guess. I'll think about it. Okay, then we have Curse of Vanishing and Infinity still. So do Curse of Vanishing on the crossbow, I think. So grab out this heart, grab out Curse of Vanishing, which should be a TP. So we'll see how that works. We're not shooting anything, so it shouldn't teleport us, but if we spawn in a Husk friend, load up the crossbow, and then shoot him. Yeah, right? So we teleport to the hit entity, which means you could transition, you could shoot, and then go into melee, right? If you're quick enough, which should be fun. Definitely in PvP or anything like that. Yeah, if you KO the enemy, though, you don't TP to it, which sort of makes sense, because I'm teleporting to the entity, right? Plus, why would you want to get over there if you KO the entity? I could TP to the arrow, that would work too, but then if you had piercing, you get into a weird loop where you're constantly teleporting to the arrow. Again, things to look into, balance, tweak, fix, however you want to name it. And then the last one we have is off of Affinity. So we can go... Oh, I need another heart. We're up to Ocean. 1, 2, 3 before we pick it up. Perfect. We have our little Ocean bow. Right, there's a little image. Again, grows as the bow gets pulled back. And this is guided arrows. So basically, what should happen is no matter where we shoot, we're aimbot now. Well, try to. If they move, they move. Oh, in fact, it went to that guy. Oh, it went to that guy. It's hard to actually see. So we shoot it, and it will go to a random entity within a set distance, basically. Right? I tried to hit someone. I shouldn't have spawned so many, because now it's a bit hard. I'm pretty sure there is a max distance. But it would be kind of funny if, obviously, you're just on a server and there's no entities loaded, and you're just shooting arrows and suddenly they go after someone. But as you can see, you do have the ability to dodge, right? It's not just an auto hit. I didn't want that. With the small enemies, it's a bit harder because it's 3 blocks up, so you have basically a tick to move away. But enemies can still move out, especially if they're coming at you. So although it seems really strong and OP, it has some set of a balancing aspect, and I could always make it higher if need be. But I didn't want it to, get stuck in a block above. But why we're doing all this is there are arrow effects now. So again, we have the actual affinities, which actually thinking about it, don't seem to be working. Yeah. Huh. I just realized that none of the actual arrow effects are working. So this one should be simple enough. It should just generate experience when I shoot. But we're not hearing a ding or anything. So these are all broken. That's fun. Is it spawning extra? It's hard to tell if that's the normal amount. Every second hit should spawn experience, but I think it should also spawn on the first hit too. 1, 2. No ding. Yeah, so I'm going to actually conclude that the arrow effects are broken, unfortunately. And also the detection is a bit off. Huh. Well, that dampens the fun, right? I mean, we can still go through our little chest of crystals and look for some arrow effects, and hopefully they work. But it's probably a simple thing. So at one point, I was storing all information just under the same name. So Runechant under, I think it was just entity. And then I changed it to now be specific. So items of items, projectiles of projectiles. That way you can store multiple stuff at the same time and not delete. I'm guessing I didn't update the effects. They're still trying to run off of the entity detection, right? Which then goes, this arrow has X tags, because as we're shooting, we tag the arrows with whatever affinity, and then that triggers the effect. So I'm guessing that's broken, and in fact, I would assume that the arrows are broken too. We just want a nice easy effect like Earth to test. So this should, I think, spawn a stalagmite, whichever one is the above, right? So we do this on a bow. Which bow? Go with stock standard. We do that, get our empty slots. And also I just realized you can tag items and they don't disappear when you throw it out. So I think I'm going to get rid of that below lore section. And that way I don't have to worry about adding empty slots. And I could even make rare item drops with a ton of empty slots, so you can make them super powerful. But yeah, so then we can do that. And then we have Earth, which is Endue Projectile. Perfect. Yeah, so the fact that there's not even particles with it means the entire system is broken. Hopefully it's an easy fix, that way we can continue showing stuff off, but give me a sec. Okay, so I'm glad I looked into it, because there was a typo, but I completely forgot that the system is just strictly luck-based, like everything else. So we gave ourselves max lucks, and now the effects are working, but there was also a typo, mainly just the particles though, so I'll still push the update, right? And there's some other minor bug fixes I do want to get out before we do start working on the other stuff that I just mentioned earlier in the episode. But yeah, so it should, there we go. Now put down ice, do some burst damage, and since we have that earth enchantment, it will also summon a stalactite. Yeah, so it should do pretty good damage because the snow will hold them, and then the stalactites will do a little bit extra damage. But every few arrows, the snow grows and grows and grows before it formed powdered snow. Right, so if we continue shooting here, if I can, and you don't move. That powdered snow yet? Yes, that's a full block. Perfect. Right, so grow and grow and grow, which was what was meant to happen with the shifting in the last one, but the detection is not completely accurate, so I have to look into that. But yeah, so I will definitely fix up the arrows, fix up some of the other minor stuff, which we can also look at the other stuff now. So this should just be experience. If I could shoot you. We get any? Sort of. I don't think it actually dropped experience. I think the first proc is damage, second proc is extra experience. I think. We heard the sound effect, which is definitely good. Maybe. Ocean, we might as well show them all off since we're doing it. So Ocean should just spawn in water. Yeah. Right? You can drown your opponent as long as they're stuck with the arrow in them. And then the Trident was Deep Dark. I believe this is just like a Sonic Burst. Yeah. I don't think the... Although they have the particle effects, so I'm guessing they actually do. I was going to say, I don't think the other arrows replicate the effects. Otherwise, multi-shots... Multi-shot is definitely the breadwinner. You know what we should actually do? We'll do multi-shot on a multi-shot crossbow. Right, so we can see that in action. Because that is definitely going to be probably the most OP. And we'll probably look for a fun little effect to go with it too. So I need multi-shots. And then I also need a blank crossbow. Perfect. We might as well grab out a new affinity. So I guess we're up to Overworld. And then we need, which one was it? I think it's just multi-shot. Yeah, so we can enchant it and do this. 1, 2, 3. Should have experience. Yeah, just took a little bit. I do like the look of this crossbow. And then we can come over here, give it another stack of multi-shots. And how many does it shoot now? I couldn't really see because there was just a ton of particles. So we'll do this. Yeah. I might have to tweak that and make it add... I don't know if you can slow down a crossbow. But the nice thing is the normal multi-shot, the effects don't seem to be proccing. Or maybe they are, there's just too many particles. I mean, the easiest thing to do, I suppose, is have a giant line of mobs and shoot them, and we can see. Please don't move that much. Right. Can husks be poisoned? Actually, I don't think husks can be poisoned. I think this was the worst one to show off. Not? Yeah, we'll do this. Give me a fancy crystal. What would work? Storm. Yeah, okay. I think that should just be lightning strikes. So we'll see if this is as OP as what I'm thinking in my head. Glad we got that off before we picked it up. Load up the crossbow. You guys still... You're not really lined up. I did a few. Ooh. Again, if it KOs, effects won't proc. That was a lot of lightning on one. So maybe it's OP. Maybe I shouldn't make multi-shot stack. But I want to give bows and everything multi-shot. That was a waste. They're already burnt. It definitely did a few. I think we hit the ground though. Yeah, we didn't get the ones behind. Come on, stay still. Yeah, so it's definitely proccing the abilities, which definitely makes it one of the strongest effects in a wide spread, if you can hit everyone. Anyway, I guess I'll do it. Hope you enjoyed. Poison. Poison is the overworld effect, if you were interested. So the overworld affinity, but zombies can't be poisoned. So yeah.